Boy, is it fucking hot in here. And I'm not just talking about the kinky shit that's going on in prison school. Let's talk about it though. What's going on, guys? We are talking Prison School episode 1 and episode 2. I have no idea what I was getting into. I just saw a lot of prison school, this and that. So I said, you know what? Why not? Why not give it a try? Let's see what this is all about. We'll see what everybody is reviewing. We'll see what everybody's talking about. And, I want to get some anime in my life because I've been getting a lot more film than anime. So what the fuck was I watching? I mean, I thought Prison School sounded like something that was violent, crude, just in your face. I thought it was a Classroom Massacre, honestly, or whatever that one is called. That comic dude is 101 is doing. I need to check that one out. But that's what I thought Prison School was. I thought it was the anime adaptation to that. Boy, was I wrong. Well, I don't know if I'm wrong, but boy, I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. This shit is funny. This shit is fun. I'm talking episode 1 and episode 2. Okay, I'm talking about the things I like and I dislike. But this shit is funny. They did the I Love Lucy thing where comedy works best when you're just serious about it. Like, you're super serious of what you're doing. You're not even trying to be funny. You're just overall serious, and certain things happen and you do certain things that make it just more hilarious. And that's what Prison School does great. It's so serious, yet the things that these guys get into, the facial expressions are hilarious. I thought some of it's like, oh, are you fucking serious? It only in anime. That some of it's just only in anime. How much crude this is and how much sexuality this is. I mean, fuck. If you want to know what this is really basically about, I believe there's 4 of them. There's glasses. There's the main guy who we follow, Kiyoshi. Is it Kiyoshi? I'm gonna say, yeah, I think it's Kiyoshi. The main guy. He's like an innocent, not pure, because he's a pervert too, But he's more balanced. He's definitely more, he's not as crazy as the other guys. You have him. You have this guy who's wears glasses. I'm gonna get all their names and pat. I have it all right here. Takioto, I believe. Then you have Shingo, who is like this blonde haired who looks like a delinquent. Then you have Joji, who likes ants, and he's wearing a hood, and he's always spitting out blood. He has his body just can't really take a lot of things. And Ando is the fat guy with like the tiniest little face. I was like, what the hell? What the fuck am I watching? The animation's really great. It reminded me of Gantz, honestly. It reminded me of that same animation of Gantz. However, it's a comedy. It's a dark humored comedy. And that's what I like. I like this so far. So, Kiyoshi, he meets, what the fuck's her name? Let me get her name real quick. He meets, I think it's Miko? Mitsuki? No. I think it was like Miko. Chiyo, that's right. He meets Chiyo. I love, and I mean these guys, they're in this all women's school. Certain rules have changed where they're now in the school, but they're the only guys, and they're trying to work up the courage to talk to all the girls that are there, include, especially on lunch and shit. But they're just dreamers, they're just young teenagers, like, one day we're gonna talk to them, I'm just so horny. But Kiyoshi is the only one that actually ends up really talking to Chiyo, and the reason being that he drops his eraser in the classroom, and Chiyo sees that eraser, and she knows that it's a sumo wrestler, and she's a big sumo fan, so they have something in common. So they talk within one another. So they have that, and they promised each other that they would go to a sumo match. So that's basically, we're following Kiyoshi's story. And then we have the group of guys who are just big perverts, man. They're huge perverts. They're so big perverts that's what fucking got them caught. They went to try to go peep, and Kiyoshi, of course, is like, oh, we shouldn't do this shit. That's my class. It's Chiyo. But then he sees Chiyo, like, not being in the fucking washroom. So they tried to peep. They get caught, and then we meet the president, the vice president, and the consul. There's like 3 of them basically, and Hana. I remember Hana. And there's the vice president, like this glasses looking, boobs coming out, just really just fucking dominatrix type chick. And then we have the president who her father pretty much owns the whole thing. Like he is basically the one that runs this shit. He's the head guy. And she just is disgusted by her father because it's funny because her father would like say, just end a sentence with something, like every time, like something serious, like he just expresses it. It's funny. It's like one line's like, do you think it's right for you to keep them after weekends? Is that what you're saying? Like something like that. It's like that. But she's disgusted by her father because her father's a pervert too. He's constantly on porn, has pornos in his office. I mean, it's hilarious. But yeah, they get caught and they get thrown into prison school. And prison school is basically they have to abide by this prison school for I believe a month, and then they'll be back in the system. But if anytime they try to escape, and I think there was some other reason, then it adds on. It adds on until like the 3rd strike, you're out, you're expelled. And then they're trying to fight back at it, but I said, oh, what are you gonna tell your parents? That you're fucking peeping and shit? So I mean, they got them on that. So they just got to endure prison school. And poor Kiyoshi, like at first he didn't even want to do it. At first he didn't want to peep because of Chiyo, but then you can't say, oh, poor Kiyoshi, because then he's like, all right, Chiyo's not there, oh, let's go peep, let's go see these tits, ass. It's just, I think what works great about this is the facial expressions, the drawn facial expressions that just kind of hit you out of nowhere. I think the one anime I could think of recently that had that, where it's just like kind of like hits you out of nowhere with the facial expressions and like the funny antics, is Noragami. The one about the god and shit. But this was just it was funny. It wasn't every time fucking hilarious, but it definitely was. I was laughing at a couple of parts, especially when we get to meet the council women who are put in charge to watch these motherfuckers, and these motherfuckers are actually loving the one sadist chick, the one chick who's fucking into whip. She has that big old whip and everything. Like she's telling the fat dude to lick her shoe. They get pissed at Kiyoshi because Kiyoshi put a stop to that because he thought like they're being treated cruelty. But they're like, why'd you stop that shit, man? I definitely would want her to, she's a hot lady. I'll lick her boots. I'll lick that shit all night long. I mean, there was one point where like heads and tails. You know what the part I'm talking about? Where she's like, oh, heads or tails, call it, bitch. And then fucking one of them calls it heads and one of them calls tails. And tails was not a good way because she's beating the shit out of the crotch. But she puts her ass on one of the guys' face. Like, it's basically a face, that ass face, those little fetishes everywhere. This shit is crazy, man. This shit is perverted. This is over the top perverted. If you want subtle perverted, you look at Desert Punk, but this is over the top. And, sometimes over the top is just like, okay, come on, guys. Take it down a little bit. I get it. But I enjoy it. This is actually kind of funny. It actually has some funny-ass moments. And there's actually goals that Kiyoshi's trying to do. He's trying to break out of prison to go to that wrestling fucking tournament with Chiyo. So, and the thing with Hana... When Hana gets introduced and she straight up beats the shit out of these guys. But she has a thing for Kiyoshi. And that piss fetish is weird. Like, because Kiyoshi saw her, Hana piss when he was up on the tree, actually being a good guy and putting a bird back where the family. And then he falls from the tree, of course. And he's like front and center while she's pissing. She's not pissing on him, but he's right there. And now she wants him to piss in front of her. God. All you need to know is she ends up having a crush, and she ends up having definitely piss in her mouth. Like the R. Kelly. She ends up getting R. Kelly'd in episode 2. Fucking Hana, man. Fucking Hana. But you know what? Prison School, it is kind of fun. It's not, I don't think it's for everybody. I think people will find this really offensive sometimes if you don't like those kind of crude kind of jokes, especially sexuality kind of jokes into windows. I say into windows, but it is hilarious. It is pretty damn funny if you just don't really take it really. It's funny because you're taking it seriously. It's like, it kind of reminds you of a little bit of School Rumble in there. There was a little bit of School Rumble moments, I thought, too. So, but I enjoyed it. I thought I'll be reviewing Prison School. It's perverted as fuck. It's sexual as fuck. It's like over the top. But the animation's good. The jokes really hit when they hit. The characters, I could buy the character. The characters are kind of funny. It does, and there's also a reminder of Beelzebub for some reason. Per Beelzebub, there's a lot of animes they're pulling out of that actually work. So it is great. It's very great. So thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe and please like the video if you like it, and comment below. I'll let you guys. I'll answer back whatever reply. If you guys, what's your impressions on this? And I don't know if this. I still think this is not for everybody. But I think a lot of people like this, and you know what? I honestly, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the 2 episodes. I thought I enjoyed it more than this other anime I'm going to be reviewing or talking about. So, thank you guys for listening, and Dan the Man